Hey, watch your language. Do you kiss your mother with that mouth? This is Mental Fitness Fridays. I'm Larry McInnes, and you are awesome. Now, language and the way we use it has been on my mind lately uh, because, language matters. Our thoughts create our inner world and influence the words we use about ourselves, about other people, and about the outside world. So our words also shape and reinforce our thoughts that create our inner world. So it's a pretty powerful feedback loop. So those thoughts, whether they're positive or negative, will come out in words that we use and the behaviors and the body language that we display. Um, those words and actions shape our world. And here's how that works. 80% of the thoughts that we have are unconscious and repetitive. And 90% of those thoughts are negative. So the overly negative language is driven by our inner saboteurs, those neural networks that derail our attempts at improved performance, our mental well-being, and our healthy relationships. So the negative language oftentimes will creep out into the world. And this way, you're not the only one affected by your language. It can affect the way people respond to you or avoid you. But people rarely remember what you have to say, but they always remember how they felt about you. So your language and behavior, which is its own body language, says a lot about whether you respect them and appreciate them. So I'm guessing you probably want more allies than enemies, and you probably want certain things in your life to appear. And the way people think about you, in part, dictates how or whether those things will come about. Now, I'm not saying you should coddle or sweet talk people, but it would be helpful to speak in a way that people will actually want to be with you and listen to what you have to say. And by listening more than speaking, will send this powerful message that you are important and you are appreciated. Now, another thing that's about language that's been on my mind lately I've got a couple pet peeves. Um, the saboteurs have a way of sneaking into our language, and sometimes undetected by us. But if you use the lines that the saboteurs feed you often enough, your listeners definitely will pick up on them. So I've got a collection of pet peeves, and I'll share a couple of them with you. And these are the ones that people use without even realizing it. Or if they are conscious of the language, they aren't conscious of how powerful the words are. So one of them is, what could possibly go wrong? Now, I have a loved one who probably uses this thing a couple times a week, and I cringe every time. Now, you could ask this question in an authentic way, like you're seriously exploring the pros and cons of a situation. But here's why it's toxic. When you say it in a sarcastic tone, uh, you've already counted all the ways that thing could go wrong, possibly without even knowing all the facts. Like, you're riding your bike across town. What could possibly go wrong? Well, if you devote to saboteur mode and judge the situation as a failure even before it happens, you're you're unconsciously, sorry about that, you're unconsciously wishing that failure into existence. If you look for failure, you'll find it. But if you look for the fortunate, you'll find that too. So decide which world you want to live in, a world of failure or a world of fortune. All right, so another pet peeve that's been popping up lately for me is just saying. Oh, God, this one's pernicious. This is language that allows the speaker to drop these verbal hand grenades on the table, sometimes causing great harm, and then just walking away unscathed. Like, that makes you look fat. Just saying. This allows a person to basically say whatever they want without owning up to how the words affect the people that they're speaking to. And when someone disregards how you feel or doesn't take responsibility for how they speak to you, this does not make for a healthy relationship. Like, you smell pretty bad. Just saying. It's sort of up there with all due respect, right? All right, that's my rant. Hopefully, it was a rant for a good reason. I'm working on creating the best reality I can for myself and the way I use language, and because I know language plays a big part in that, and I want you to have the best reality you can have too. Granted, my reasons are selfish. Your best reality improves my reality as well. And with that, I will see you next week at this time on Mental Fitness Fridays.